Are you looking for an investor for your company? Or maybe you already have an investor, but they drive you crazy. And you're going to love this week's business book review. Founder vs. Investor by Elizabeth Zalman and Jerry Neumann is one of the most creative and informative books I've read in a very long time. In fact, this book was my second favorite book of 2024. If you're curious, by the way, on what number one was, check out my video called My Top 10 Books of 2024. The co-authors are from different sides of the exact same coin. Elizabeth, or Liz as she refers to herself, is a two-time founder, CEO of venture-backed companies. I think she built the first one to a successful exit, and then the second one grew up to a multi-$100 million business. If I remember correctly, I think she's had like 9 successful raises, totaling more than $100 million. Don't quote me on that exact factor though. Jerry, by the way, is recognized as one of New York's 50 most important venture capitalists, and he's invested in both of Liz's companies. The book is almost 2 books in one. The first is a book telling you about the good, bad, and the ugly parts of raising capital from the eyes of Liz, the founder. And then the second book tells you about the good and the bad and the ugly parts of investing in founders from Jerry's eyes. These two very different books are intertwined as you hear about one perspective about a specific topic and then the other person's viewpoint. I give this book 5 out of 5 head tilts. The book drew some shockingly similar contrasts in their lives as to me and Macy. Macy's like Liz, the founder, but Macy wants treats instead of venture capital. And me, well, I'm like Jerry. I'm the investor in charge of doling out how many treats she gets. At least I think that was the parallel I drew. I don't know. I've kind of derailed at this point in time. This book is a perfect 5-star for anybody looking to shift from a lifestyle business over to a performance or growth company, because that's typically when most founders are going to need some funding to scale their business. And it would also be the perfect book for any startup looking to raise funds from an investor. The book is made up of 6 topics: fear, trust, and making money, fundraising, terms, the board of directors, growth, and exits, with the 7th chapter called Red and the Wolf, which is a back and forth dialogue between Liz and Jerry, sharing how they've changed after reading the other author's perspective of those 6 topics. And after reading it, I don't think I've ever wanted to take 2 authors out for a dinner just to watch the 2 of them interact and spar with one another. It was wildly entertaining. Here's some excerpts from the book that really stood out for me. A successful fundraise requires relationships, hustling, and audacity. Fear and anxiety have no place here. No wonder it's daunting. When raising, it's also critical to be confident and perceptive enough to answer the questions you want to answer versus the ones you're being asked. VCs are a no until they actually say yes. I have a theory that every sentence in every contract is the result of someone getting screwed because their contract didn't have that sentence. There's another thing to consider: your co-founders. You may not be fighting with them now, but you will. Trust me, you will. People change and priorities change, and you'll become misaligned. The best way to figure out who you were getting into bed with was to pick a fight over something that you didn't care about. You'd raise the point, see how they reacted, and then seed it. Did the investor flip out? Did they try to understand your position? Something else? I've done it every fundraise since. If you've read the book, let me know your thoughts about it. And if you do end up reading it, I hope you can come back and share in the comments sections that stood out for you so anybody else watching this video could benefit from your insights. Also, if you are enjoying these videos, I'd be honored if you'd hit that like button and subscribe so that when I release another book review, you'll be one of the first to know. And if you've watched more than one of these reviews, you probably love my business book scorecard. It's a free Q&A that just takes a few minutes. And at the end, you're going to get a custom curated list of the top 10 books for you based upon where you're at in your specific entrepreneurial journey. The reality is, all books can be a 5 out of 5 if you read them at the right time in your business development. Why waste time reading books that don't apply directly to you? I've already sorted through over 500 business books to share with you the top 10 books that apply directly to you. It's fast, it's free, and the link is inside the description of this video. Until the next review, let's both try a little harder to be a little better. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch that book review. If you liked it, I think you might like this one as well. Check it out.